something. Did I miss that? I put in about 8 weeks working on all the scores that the publisher sent me, preparing stuff for the orchestra and for the vocalists before I started rehearsals with the cast. This is a copy of the full reference score, so it's basically all the parts in the show. This gives me all the 12 orchestra parts, so I can see it all in one page. So it's only about 4 pages of book. There's actually 3 volumes of this. I've got the computer hooked into the keyboard so that if I play on this keyboard, I can enter that onto the computer. So as I'm entering, it would be, I want to do a couple 8th notes, 16th notes, putting all the notes in there, and then the computer will transpose for me. My goal is to make these 4 parts, which would be trumpet, trombone, saxophone, 2 saxophones, sound good as a whole themselves. Once I add guitar, drums, bass, 2 keyboards, piano, it's going to sound good. This show is kind of unique in that it's got disco music to reflect Dolores's disco queen status, but then she goes to the convent and the Reverend Mother's music and the nuns' music is very show tune based, reflecting the nuns' simplicity, more basic harmony structures and stuff. So you don't really want to mess with that because you got the 2 styles and they kind of clash, just like the nuns and Dolores are clashing, but then at the end they all come together in a great thing. As far as vocals for Sister Act went, Regina came to my house from the summer. We worked on that, got all of her stuff lined up. I prepared all the choral parts at home before getting with the cast, assigning parts, tenor, soprano, alto, baritone, so that when we got into rehearsals, I could give everybody everything that we would need to make the songs work in performance. Working with Michael and Tam is great. Of course, Michael is the director, so he's the captain of the ship, as it were. Tam and I are first mates. We all work really well together. None of us are afraid of stepping on each other's toes. We truly collaborate. If I see something, I will tell Michael, there's a good hit here. Well, how about if we get some place that we can accent that in the staging? It feels like a real collaboration. Good. Can we try that again? So orchestra rehearsals are always exciting. It's always exciting to hear the first time what's going to happen with all the charts that you've spent 260 hours working on. So Dee Dee, again, you kind of the lead here. So bop, 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 bop. Make sure that those are nice and strong. And the important thing, I think, is really clean parts and trusting your players. No one wants to make a mistake. So 5 is where the singer starts singing. So my duty as a conductor is to be as clear as possible and to lead them in uniting with the singer and creating some really beautiful music.
Here within these walls, days are filled with grace. God is in his place, his wisdom still respected.
Picture a guy, a knight in rhinestone armor.
Hello, Philadelphia! Give a hometown girl welcome to me, Dolores Van Cartier. Merry Christmas, 1977!
The caliber of the musicians in this show is really great. They make my job really easy because this music is in their souls. And I grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, so it's in my soul too.